a softness heaven made. A baby girl whose little light refused to ever fade. Though time has carried me forward, your name still finds my ear, a tender echo in the spirit, reminding love is always near. Some stories live beyond the moment, beyond the things we see.
Her name still finds my ear. Let's just take a moment of silence and say her name. Speak it out loud and speak it in our hearts. Bianca Jones. Bianca Jones is her name. Say her name. Say her name. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? In a city built on struggle, in the cold December air, some stories never leave us. Their echoes linger everywhere. Bianca, just 2 years old, a baby wrapped in grace, a little light of Detroit with a smile that warmed that place. Though time has carried me forward, your name still finds my ear, a tender echo in the spirit, reminding love is always near. Some angels rise beyond our sight, but memory keeps them near. Your little light still shines. Today, Bianca, we feel you here. Today, I'm sharing a story that still sits in the heart of Detroit. A story that touched me in a way, a personal way, long before I ever thought I'd speak on it publicly. This is the story of a 2-year-old Bianca Jones, a baby girl whose disappearance in 2011 broke the city of Detroit. Confused investigators, divided families, and left behind a question that still hangs in the cold air of Detroit winters. Where is Bianca? How does a community move forward when a piece of its heart is gone? Before we begin, I want to honor the man whose route connected me deeper to this story, Mr. Raymond Boddie, a Detroit mailman, rest in love, who served his community faithfully for many years. I was his swing person, stepping onto his route, learning the rhythm of his streets, and on that route was a house, a home that carried Bianca's picture taped to the screen door. Every time I walked up to those steps, her eyes met mine. Even though I'm not there anymore, the memories still arise. The day she disappeared, December 2nd, 2011. A winter morning in Detroit, Bianca's father, DeAndre Lane, called the police with a frantic story, a carjacking. He claimed someone forced him out of his Mercury Grand Marquis and drove off with Bianca still inside the car. The city reacted instantly. Officers were mobilized. Searchers combed streets, alleys, snowbanks, abandoned structures, lots, and neighborhoods. Detroit knows how to rally, especially for a child. But the hope that filled the first few hours began to shift because something wasn't adding up. Investigators found the car not long after, intact, parked, engine still warm, but Bianca was not in it. The story began to fracture. The timeline didn't match. Phone data contracted, traveled paths. His behavior raised flags. Witnesses contradicted details. A narrative that began as a search started to evolve into something else. As investigators pressed further, patterns emerged. Prosecutors would later argue that Bianca had endured harsh discipline, that earlier on the same day she went missing, Lane had been frustrated with her potty training, that the carjacking was staged to cover something far more devastating. A scent detection dog reportedly alerted to decomposition in the car. Digital evidence contradicted the father's route that day. But the most difficult part of the case is also the part that still haunts Detroit. Bianca's body was never found. In 2012, despite no physical remains, DeAndre Lane was charged and later convicted of first-degree felony, first-degree child abuse. He received life in prison without parole. A heavy verdict, a divided city, a baby gone, and no place to lay her to rest. Where the case stands, as of 2025, here's what we know. Bianca has not been found. No remains have ever surfaced. No alternative suspects have been confirmed. Lane continues to maintain his innocence from prison. His appeals have been denied. The community still speaks her name across social media platforms, anniversaries, memorial posts. The case remains one of Detroit's most painful, unsolved losses. Not because justice wasn't pursued, but because closure never came. My personal connection, when I walked Mr. Boddie's route, it wasn't just mail. It was community. It was rhythm. It was lives on every block, every porch, every door. And there was Bianca's picture, still, quiet, watching. That image has stayed with me for years. I wasn't family. I wasn't part of the investigation. I was simply a woman walking a route and carrying a memory. A baby's smile shouldn't have to become a symbol, but sometimes stories choose us. I no longer walk their neighborhood, but the echo of her presence never left. Detroit is a city that has endured hardship, rebirth, struggle, and triumph, often all in the same breath. But when a child is taken, the whole community feels it. Bianca, well, who would she be today? Growing into her personality, her dreams, her path. Instead, she remains a memory, a small light that Detroit refuses to let fade. Her story has become a lesson, a warning, a prayer, a plea for awareness, a reminder of the value of every child. When you walk past the places where her picture once hung, you can almost still feel her, as if the streets themselves haven't forgotten. Stories like this don't disappear. They linger, they haunt, they shape us, and sometimes They lift us into compassion in a way only grief can. So today, we honor her. We speak her name. We remember that she was only two, innocent, small, bright, loved. Bianca's light didn't leave, it lifted into memory, into story, into the spirit of a city that still feels her absence. Some angels rise beyond our sight, but memory keeps them near. Your little light still shines today, Bianca. We feel you here.